So what would Gandhi think about Bitcoin? Well, Bitcoin, who knows what to think about Bitcoin? Bitcoin is either cryptocurrency of the future, the solution to half the world's problems, or maybe it's the largest and most complex Ponzi scheme in all of human history. Could be all three. I don't know. But I do know this about Bitcoin. Gandhi would have loved it. And that's because Bitcoin is backed up by truth and nonviolence. Truth and nonviolence were Gandhi's mantras. Truth was so important to him, he was a lawyer. And one time in South Africa, he caught his client in a lie while he was on the witness stand. And so Gandhi outed him right there in open court and asked the judge to rule against his own client. Truth is really important to Gandhi. It's also important for currency. There's a couple different kinds of currencies. Now, there's hard currencies. This is a silver dollar that is true. It is 1 ounce of fine silver, and there's no government that can wave a magic wand or anything that will make it 2 coins or make it some completely different metal. Hard currency is backed up by truth. There's also fiat currencies. That's the kind that we're most familiar with. Fiat currencies are backed up by promises. This is a promise from the United States of America that this is worth $1. Now, this is a promise that is made in good faith and has been honored for many, many years. But there's an awful lot of these promises out there. Now, each of these dollars is unique. It has its own unique serial number, but there's no upper limit on how many of these can be printed or created. There's also no limit on how many zeros you put after the 1. Governments can manipulate fiat currencies. They are not backed by truth. Bitcoin, on the other hand, is. Bitcoin is backed by truth. The blockchain keeps track of all the transactions. There's a public ledger to make everything verifiable. There's an upper limit. So each of these unique Bitcoins, there's a maximum of 21 million of them available. Bitcoin is backed by truth. It's also backed by nonviolence. That fiat currency, that paper money, says that this note is legal tender for all debts, public and private. If you owe me money, I'm obligated to accept dollars as payment, whether I want to or not. That obligation is backed up by the force of the United States government and the force of law. Gandhi was no stranger to the force of law. In fact, he spent nearly 1/10 of his life behind bars for his nonviolent civil disobedience. Now, he would have tithed even more than that. When he got arrested, he would stand before the judge and plead guilty and essentially dare the judge to give him the maximum possible sentence. Now, the judges would recognize who in that courtroom had the moral authority, and they never gave Gandhi the maximum sentence. Fiat currencies are backed up by force. Bitcoin is backed up by nonviolence. It's voluntary. There's no force of law that requires me to own it, to accept it, to trade it, to buy it, to sell it, to have it. It's completely voluntary. We, the citizens of the internet, control it through truth and nonviolence. There's no government that can manipulate it, that can prohibit it, that can tax it. There may be some that try, but I have a feeling there's going to be some high-priced defense attorneys in that courtroom. Gandhi was a big fan of challenging unjust laws. Gandhi's example, his record of activism over 5 decades, over 3 continents, has inspired hundreds of millions of people all over this world for more than a century. Fastforpeace.org was founded to spread his message. All Americans who are able are invited to join a national day of fasting on the 15th of each month. This is inspired by Gandhi's fast in Calcutta in 1947. A year earlier, there had been horrific violence there. Hindus and Muslims had clashed in the streets. More people died in those riots than died on September 11th. August 15th, 1947, the day that the British were finally going to leave India, Gandhi went to Calcutta. He called for calm. He stayed in the home of a prominent local Muslim, and he fasted for peace. Now, Gandhi wasn't perfect. Gandhi wasn't a saint. He did some weird things, but what Gandhi did worked. Gandhi inspired the city to be better. And so fastforpeace.org looks to inspire our communities in our country to be better, to be more peaceful, to be nonviolent. So join in the Fast for Peace on the 15th of each month. This is promoted by the hashtag Fast for Peace. We're very fortunate to live in a nation where the man whose finger is on the nuclear button pays attention to what goes on social media. What would Gandhi think about Bitcoin? Bitcoin is truth and nonviolence in a digital form. I hope you'll join us for the next Fast for Peace on the 15th of the month. Please check out our website for this month's charity, to sign up for our free newsletter, or to make a donation. Yes, we do accept Bitcoin. And I hope you'll help us share Gandhi's messages of truth and nonviolence with the 21st century. It's starting to snow. It is really the season of peace. And I think it's time for Gandhi's messages to become relevant once again. So, until next time, #FastForPeace, and just keep walking.